I have some free time this week.
Yeah.
Now that Fashion Week is over. Yeah, I went to the Proenza show and the Elena show. I love my creative fashion designer friends, both old and new. I'm so honored to know you. I hope you continue to invite me to sit front row and continue to dress me. However, going to fashion shows is so hilarious and gay. It's Mugatu-ass vibes. It's like literally people wearing tiny glasses with like slicked back hair.
The Derelict campaign.
Yeah, and like stupid ass Wesley Snipes and Blade like leather dusters.
I know.
And retarded like dipped in cement shoes.
It's Hunger Games first district.
It is, yeah.
I don't like going to fashion shows. It feels like a Machiavellian political maneuver that I have to ritualistically engage in to like pay my respects, you know? I do have a lot of respect and admiration for Elena and want her to know, you know, I'm with her.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a right-wing edgelord podcaster or whatever.
Even though we're single-handedly tanking your brand through your association with it.
But I was thinking that there is something about fashion that's comforting. I had this feeling at the Velez show where I was like, oh, like things aren't so bad, you know?
Well, right. It's like alcohol allows you to dissociate from like Chinese spy balloons and Ohio toxic waste train derailments.
You're like, there's resources. There's like 100 gay guys trying to pull off this production. There's wealth circulating somehow. Right. It feels a little like insulated and safe.
Yeah, I mean, I had another revelation when I went to like
many revelations.
the Proenza after party at Casa Cipriani, which is like my favorite place ever because it's like membership only unless you're like on somebody's list. And it's like a dimly lit cavernous space full of weird Sephardic and Syrian people.
Yeah.
Like the only people who have memberships at Casa Cipriani are like Egyptian and Syrian Jews and their like nesting doll network of cousins. The women all look like whores. The men all look like George Hamilton. It's like really great.
I have not been.
Yeah, you'll make it happen.
Yeah. I'll set my mind to it.
And I was like, man, it must be nice to be a rich and hot and successful, sinister homosexual of the art or fashion world. You just know a bunch of random other rich and hot and successful sinister homosexuals from adjacent industries, and you guys all like butt fuck each other and then have nice and classy dinner parties.
Yeah.
Where you like listen to Redscare. Must be nice.
And it's nice for us as, you know, high tea female participants in the manosphere that we usually circulate in. It's nice to go to kind of an exclusive female and homosexual space, basically.
Right.
It does make me feel a little more balanced, a little more healthy.
Totally.
To have different, you know, cliques that I can engage with.
Yeah, I love
that
to...
aren't just some of the worst men you've ever met.
Like both. I love to blow lines out in the open with sinister homosexuals after a hard day's work, palling it up with white racists on the internet who hate homosexuals.
They're all homosexuals. That's the twist.
I know. But these guys are more honest and uninhibited about what they are, you know?
Yeah.
And I also love the role that we play and the function we serve in that ecosystem because they love us because, frankly, they can enjoy the company of sassy, mouthy, quirky broads, but then turn us off. They literally can just stop listening to us whenever they want. That's really the service they're paying for. It's like Charlie Sheen and his prostitutes, you know?
They pay us to leave.
Yeah, no one wants
to turn the podcast off.
Exactly. No one wants to listen to, quote, women talking indefinitely.
That's for sure. Yeah. And we're misogynists, so we have that in common.
Right. There's like a Venn diagram. It's like the Redscare gals, racist anons on the internet, sinister homosexuals of the art and fashion world. And the center is just BAP.
It's just hating women.
I was trying to explain BAP to drunkenly to my friend Justinian, who's like an incredibly tall and dashing Levantine homosexual. Oof. Who literally looks like a Byzantine emperor.
Wow.
And probably has the sexual proclivities of one too.
Justinian, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That rocks.
Yeah, he rules.
Why ever go by Justin?
I don't know.
Why not just
why not add that? Yeah. But I have to drink because in order to go to fashion shows, you have to be either drunk or high. You should be allowed to drink at fashion shows.
So cold sober. Yeah, why don't they serve drinks at the fashion shows? They should. I had to go out for Jello shots afterwards.
I know.
I was craving the booze.
If you zoom out and like unplug and think about what fashion shows really are, it's just like assembling a bunch of like overdressed retards in a room to sit around like rubberneck hoping they'll get photographed and record everything on their phone.
Yeah.
And like nervously look around to appraise all the other social cliques.
Well, I'm always so astounded by what a like chaotic production it is to get the models down the runway. Like it's because of the incompetent, sinister homosexuals that everything is so like frantic and like, but it's literally so easy. Like when you think about what goes into like a film production, it's like so much more complicated and is able to function so much more efficiently and for like longer durations of time. But somehow a 10-minute show of getting some like models down a runway is constantly some kind of like Kelly Catrona-esque catastrophe.
Yeah, where there's like sinister homosexuals with like clipboards and headpieces colliding with iPads. They're just like, ah!
Exactly.
I'm gonna need you at 9:00.
Ma'am, you're not on the list. Yeah, it's just the corralling and everything. It's like, it just seems way harder than it has to be. And that is a very distinctly.
Well, yeah, it's when women and homosexuals get together to put on a production, horrible things happen.
This is a cursed place where nothing good happens. And we love it.
Yeah. And there's always one really toweringly tall black gay who's bald and wearing a top hat and has false eyelashes and like a cape.
Yeah, there's always a guy literally just like Satan.
Yeah, there's like an Andre Leon Talley shaped hole that's opened up in the fashion world.
Master and Margarita like magic show. There's like a big fat cat and a devilish man.
Satan's retinue rolls into Moscow.
Fashion week again.
So what I'm trying to say, to make a long story short, I've really come around. I think the conservatards are right. Fashion is Satan's work.
Yeah.
Just not in the way that they think it is.
Yeah. It's way worse.
Yeah.
It's something worse than Satan's work.
It's like at the intersection of homosexual meddling and homosexual incompetence. No, just kidding. Gays are competent.
Please keep inviting us to Fashion Week. If we want to go.
I keep meeting people that I've like talked shit about, but I forgot I talked shit about them because like contrary to popular belief, I'm not truly a miserable and seething person. I'm just monetizing my mom's harsh and cruel inner voice. So like when I fire from the hip, I forget about it.
Yeah.
It's like in one hole out the other. And then you meet these fashion world insiders and you're like, oh my God, I loved your latest collection. And they're like, that's not what you said on the last Fashion Week episode.
I know. I met Ronan Farrow.
I know. Yeah.
And I was so frightened.
But do you think he knew who you were?
No. He asked me if I was a Republican. And I said, kind of.
Maybe.
Something like that. Yeah.
He's conceivably too.
But I was like, I've said such heinous things about you, Ronan.
The thing is also like all of my like criticisms proceed from a good place in the sense that like anybody who does anything creative and manages to get it off the ground has earned my esteem and respect to begin with.
Yes.
And yes, the criticism thereafter comes from a place of love.
Well said.